Guys, how's it going? Out here in the garden this morning and just, looking over everything I need to get done. I have such a mess going on in my garden. My kids have been ultra busy in school, which makes me ultra busy. I have a junior in high school and an eighth grader, both super involved in activities. And when that happens, I mean, let's be honest, gardening kind of takes a back seat. And it was August and September, super hot. You just don't even want to be out in the garden in Texas. It's just too hot. And look at this behind me, y'all. You'll see this rope. Our dryer went out this week, so isn't that lovely? So we've got a part on order. It should, if it fixes it, it will only be like a $6 fix. But if it doesn't, I got to go buy an $800 dryer. So I've been like old school line drying here in the sun, trying to get just things we need right away done, kind of taking it old school here. Life always throws you stuff, doesn't it? Let me show you what we've got going on. My main thing is get these beds cleaned up because I'm trying to get ready for fall gardening. So like this was a green bean plant here and I just need to take it out. It's done. Look at all these beautiful garlic chives. Isn't that pretty how they make the flowers up there at the top? I love that. It's so pretty. Okay, and then over here, what we've got going on, all of these tomatoes, I just need to get them trimmed up because they have all this dead stuff in here. I'd like to take them back, trim them down, and get them somewhere where they can still grow back in the fall and start over. All of this stuff is old and scraggly and it just needs to come off. Same thing over here. These were green beans going up these poles. I'm just gonna rip them out and then we're gonna start new plants. So that's the agenda today. I'm just gonna try and get some things done and bring y'all along. Let's see what we get done. Okay, you guys, I got those first two beds cleaned up. Let's take a look at those, see how we're doing. Okay, so as you remember, they were up here and then we got them all cleaned up down to here. And what this will do is just give it a fresh start in the fall. We'll get rid of all that scraggly growth. I probably could still trim a little bit off here. See, that's not looking that good. But anyways, and actually, we actually lost a couple plants here. So I had to pull those out. So it looks like we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4 tomato plants in that bed. Not bad. And then this one will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still have 8 plants in this bed. And then we've got all that trimmed up from there. And you might have seen me messing with these little Velcro things. These are awesome. They tie the plant onto the wire here and hold it in place, and then you can totally reuse them again. Even sometimes I use them into the next season. I'll take them off after the fall, and then I might can get another spring out of them. I'll link them so that you can see where I buy those at Lowe's, and I'll link them there so you can grab them. But I love having those because they make quick work of whatever you're doing. You know, when you have to tie them off, instead of using that green ribbon that you have to tie and then cut it off, these just easily come off of there. So I love that. All right, so that's those 2 beds. And now we got to get on to the next one. Right here, all these cherry tomatoes. Okay, guys, pretty much got everything done. Let's go over, see what we've got here. All right, remember we started over on this side and got all of those trimmed up, looking good. And then the cherry tomatoes were here. Got those trimmed up to about the first row down. Left quite a bit of plant on so that those can keep growing. And then over here, cleaning up all that mess on top is going to really help out these bell peppers because they've been struggling because they're not getting enough sun. So they're making real nice like green plants, but they're not making very many bell peppers. See how little that is? So I think now that the sun will be able to get to them, that will be amazing. Now the bell peppers can grow up over the tomatoes until they decide they want to do something again. And here's more bell peppers on the back side too. So it'll be interesting to see how they take off once they can get more sun and quit making these baby ones. Got all of this cleaned up here. And I left more tomatillos because they were actually still had some blooms on them. So I kind of left the vines just to see what they're doing. This down here is eggplant. And I bet it's going to do the same thing as the bell peppers. It'll probably really take off now that it can get more sun in here. Because like I said, this peach tree, it really helps like everything in the summer not burn up. So I get a longer harvest with my tomatoes. But it's kind of a catch-22 because it provides good shade, but then these plants that are down lower don't get enough sun. So anyway, I decided over here on the green beans just to go ahead and leave some, because if you can see right there, there's some little blooms coming out, some little green bean pods. So I'm just gonna let these keep doing their thing. It's really dry in this bed. I need to get some water on it, but overall I think we're good to go with these. I'm gonna leave them on, and then what I'll do is just come back in here and plant some extra ones. You know, that way we can have more vining up. To be honest, these little poles that I have those on, they're not very good. I mean, they're not very sturdy. So I need to come up with something else. I've been looking at possibly like building up some better trellises for those green beans this next season. But anyways, it was just a trial. I wanted to show y'all real quick before we get off of here today what's coming up. Let me flip you around. So these lemons are starting to turn. You can see just a little bit of like blushing on them, like to where they're gonna start turning more yellowy lemony color. So I'll be excited to get those off of there and eat them because they're so good. Look at all of this basil. I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. I love putting it on my pizza. It's my favorite thing to do. I didn't get to this part, but like I said, I think I was gonna kind of leave that anyways and see what's gonna happen with it. But I think that about does it for today, you guys. Lots of fun in the garden today, getting everything cleaned up. I always love it when like I get everything just looking so nice and not so jumbly and yucky. So it's great to have that cleaned up today. Thanks for coming along with me. Y'all have a good day. Hope you get a chance to get out in your garden. Bye.